Hello everybody, welcome again to my YouTube channel, The Learning Hub. In this series of Theory of Computation, and in today's lecture we are going to discuss about finite automata with output. So when we talk of finite automata with output, we are here talking of Mealy and Mealy machines. Mealy and Mealy machines. So basically these Mealy and Mealy machines are based on finite automata, which is basically DFA, that is deterministic finite automata. But this deterministic finite automata has certain output when we talk of Mealy and Mealy machines. So before proceeding further, let's discuss about the difference between finite automata and Mealy and Mealy machines. So when we talk of finite automata, basically it has no output, and in Mealy and Mealy machine we have output. So we can simply say finite automata produces no output. They will just check whether a string is accepted or not. Means a problem is computable by finite automata or not. When we talk of Mealy and Mealy machine, they also tell us that the particular string is accepted by the machine. Also it will tell what type of output it will be producing. And when we talk of finite automata, it has 5 tuples for its definition, and Mealy and Mealy machines are having 6 tuples, in which additional tuple is output in the case. So like we are talking about a string AA, BBC. So when we talk of finite automata, starting with the initial stage, we check we are proceeding to further stages and reaching the Q2 string. Then we check if we are passing the strings over A, B, B, C, or something like here in this case, suppose we are checking something like that, then this will give us that this A, B, C string will be accepted by this finite automata. But when we talk of the Mealy and Mealy machines, it will also tell what type of output will be produced, and it has no final state. In case of Mealy and Mealy, there is no final state, and in case of finite automata, there is a final state. So it has a finite automata has a limitation that it will just tell us the string will be accepted or not. But Mealy and Mealy machine will also tell that if the string is accepted, then what type of output it will be producing. So now let's discuss in detail about the definition of Mealy machine. So Mealy machine is basically, we know, 6 tuple, and these 6 tuples are Q, sigma, delta, transition symbol, lambda, and Q naught. Now this Q is nothing else, just like finite automata, it is set of states, and this sigma is alphabets, set of alphabets, that is, we can say symbols. Fine. And Q naught, we already know this is the initial state. This is initial state. And this delta, just like finite automata, it is nothing, it is just a transition function. It is a transition function which will map this set of states with certain symbols and will tell us what will be the next state where it has to do transition. So what are the additional symbols that we are having in this case? This delta and this lambda. So when we talk of this delta, basically this delta is the output symbol in the case of Mealy machine. This is output symbol which will tell that there are certain output symbol that will be provided. And when we talk of lambda, it is when a Q state is there, then there will be certain output in that case. Certain output will be produced. Now let's discuss with the help of diagram Mealy machine and Mealy machine. So let's consider this. there is a state Q0. It has certain output in associated with it. We have Q1, then B, then Q2 and B, and certain input 0 with 1, 0. If 1 is provided, it will going over here. With 1, it is going here. And if we provide 0 in this case, it will go here. So this is a finite automata diagram if we look at, but in this case we can say uh, not only the state are given, we have certain other symbols also mentioned. So if I have to write definition for this, so we can say I am having three states, Q0, Q1, Q2, and what is the value of sigma? This is 0 and 1, and this delta, that is the output. So in this case we can say A is output, B is output, B is output. So we are having output symbols as A and B. Now initial state Q0, which is the initial state Q0, we know this is Q0, which is initial state in this case, and output for this initial state is A. And output for Q1 is B, and so on. But here we also need to remember, if we pass an input string of length n in case of Mealy machine, that is in case of Mealy machine, then the output that will be produced will be having n plus 1 length. Output will be produced when we talk of Mealy machine. So this is how Mealy machine will work in the case. So in this case, if we draw a certain diagram for this given transition diagram, so we can check. Suppose I am passing the string 0 0 1 1 0. So this is my input string. So when I will start with the initial state Q0, when I pass 0 over here, where can I reach? I can reach from Q0 with 0. Where can I go? I can go to Q0 only. And in this case, output in the case will be A. Now at Q0, what is the next string? Next string is 0. So I will pass 0, I will remain at Q0, and the output for Q0 is A in this case. So here I will get A only. Then again I am at Q0 because there is no transition. So at Q1 I will pass the input symbol 1, and when at Q0 I will pass the input symbol 1. So with 1, where can I go? I can go to Q1. So my next state changes to Q1 with 1, and the output for Q1 is B. So here I will write the output as T. Now my current state changes to Q1, and at Q1 when I provide the input next symbol, that is 1. So when this 1 is supplied, where will we go? We will go to Q0. As we can see at Q1, if we write down the output as 1, so where can I go with that 1? I can go back to Q0. So in this case I will get Q0, and the output for that is A. So I am again at Q0. So at Q0 the next symbol that is to be processed is 0. So we will pass 0 in this case, and the transition for Q0, the transition with Q0 in this case is Q0 itself. So we will remain at Q0, and in this case the output is A. So from this we can say in Mealy machine it is proceeding symbol by symbol from one state to another, but also it is providing certain output in the case. So this is how Mealy machine work. It means it is providing certain output. Now we are talking about length n. So in this case we have seen that the length is 5 in the string, but we have to add initial output. The output of initial state is always added. So the initial state is A, output A will be added. So we will get A, B, A. So this is how the Mealy machine works. So thanks for watching the video. In next video we will talk about Mealy machines. So in this video we are going to discuss about Mealy machine as well. We have already discussed about Moore machine. So we will discuss about Mealy machine. So in the Moore machine we have discussed that the Moore machine along with the state the output is written on the state itself, and in case of Moore machine the length of the input string is n, which will produce output of length n plus 1. And in case of Mealy machine, if the input string has length n, then the output will remain n itself. Output length will remain itself. So additional output is not added. Why it is not added? As we can say in this diagram, we can say it is not producing further output. Output is not written on the nodes, whereas the output is written on the edges. So in edges, if we have a look at this, there are two symbols written 0 oblique a, which means the first symbol which is written over here is the input one, that is 0 is the input. It means if on Q naught we are providing 0, the output will be a, and if Q naught is given input B1, then the output in that case will be B. Now for Q1, if the input is 1, the output will be A. So if on Q1 we are giving input 0, the output will be B in this case. So this is how it works. Now let us draw transition table for this. So we have seen we are having two states Q0 and Q1, and the transition table looks like this, which means if on Q0 we are giving the input 0, then the output in that case is A. We can see with 0 input we are getting output A. On Q0 if we give the input 1, then the output in the next transition state in this case was Q0 itself, and for Q0 with 1 the next state is Q1, and the output in that case is P. Now for Q1 if we give the input 1, the output will be A, and the next state will remain Q1 itself. And for Q1 if we give 0, it is going to next state, that is Q0, and the output will be produced in that case will be P. So this is how the Mealy machine works. In case of Mealy machine, we are having the outputs written on that. Suppose this could be a Moore machine, then how it will be written? So for it will be written, output will be written over here itself. Fine, which means for Q0 with any symbol, if we reaches over there, the output will be A. In Moore machine, the output is written on the states and the output length is n plus 1 in case of n length string. But in case of Mealy machine, the output is not written on the nodes. So the output, which is output is considered, the output considered will be the output written on the edges with the input transitions. So we have discussed about Moore and Mealy machines in this case, and in the next video we will discuss about the difference between Mealy and Moore machine. But before proceeding with that, now let's check the acceptability of a string and the output. Now suppose I have given the input string 0, 1, 0, 0. This is my input string. I want to check this string, if this string is accepted, what will be the output? So initial state is Q0. So on Q0 we will supply 0. So when at Q0 we supply the input 0, we will get A as output. And next transition in that case is Q0 itself. So on Q0 we will apply Q1 input, and when 1 is applied as input, in that case we will get the output as B. So we will write B over here. Now the next transition state is Q1 in that case. So on Q1 input string will be 0, and on Q1 when we give the input as 1, we will reach the next state as Q1, and the output in Q1 with 0, we will go to the state Q0, and the output will be B in that case. So we will write B over here, and the next state is Q0. So on Q0 we will give the input 0, and where will we go? We will go for Q naught giving 0, we will go to Q naught, and where will we reach? Output will be A in this case. So in this case, the output is A, B, B, A for this Mealy machine. So we have done sufficiently about Moore and Mealy machine. We will discuss about the difference of Moore and Mealy machine in the next video. Thanks for watching the video.